Bon dia a tothom.
Good morning and welcome to Luis Enrique's press conference ahead of Thursday night's match
I feliç any.
against Athletic Club Bilbao in Bilbao at the new San Mamés. Happy New Year to everybody. We're about to begin Luis Enrique's press conference.
Recordeu, sisplau, dir el nom i el mitjà abans de cada
Please state your name and your media outlet
pregunta per torn i silenciar els telèfons.
and one question per turn. Please turn off your mobile phones.
Marc.
Bona tarda, míster, i bon any nou aquí, Marc Grau de Barça TV. Encara no havíem pogut parlar amb tu.
Good morning and Happy New Year.
De Copa contra l'Atlètic.
We haven't had a chance to talk about this Copa del Rey tie.
Havia començat les vacances, com valores?
The last tie with Hercules ended right when you were going on vacation. How do you see this matchup
I a les alçades de la temporada en la que estem, com valores l'enfrontament?
coming into tomorrow's match?
Buen día y buen año a todos.
Good morning and Happy New Year to everybody.
Pues lo valoro con
Well,
la dificultad lógica que tiene enfrentarte a un equipo como el Athletic.
it looks to be as difficult as any match we would be playing against Athletic.
Copa del Rey, club al que conocemos muy bien porque
We know them well. We've played them many times in the Copa del Rey,
y una eliminatoria
and it's
difícil y a la
a
altura.
difficult tie.
Estamos ya en este mes de enero y febrero que serán claves para
January and February will be key to see how our team progresses in this competition,
y entendemos que será una eliminatoria difícil.
and we know that it will be a difficult two matches. Tomorrow in Bilbao, knowing
Que tiene el Athletic,
how good they are, they always
desde la presión,
create difficult situations for us
muy atractiva,
with pressure. It should be an attractive matchup,
que hemos podido ver en el sorteo.
and that's what we ended up in the draw.
Catalunya Ràdio. Ja sé que habitualment no ens avança...
I know that you are not accustomed to telling us your starting 11, but you have made exceptions for tomorrow. Could you make an exception and let us know who the starters are going to be? No.
Normalmente las veces que he hecho excepciones ha sido por
The only times I've made an exception
o jugadores interesados en cada caso.
was because I wanted to specifically talk about certain players. But for tomorrow, I will maintain my tradition in that the players will be the first to know who is starting the game.
De RAC1 ho has dit, l'Atlètic és un dels equips que més us pressiona. No sé
Athletic Club is one of the teams that
180 minuts, que no és un
pressures you most.
Creieu que pot sortir amb aquesta pressió des del principi?
Since it's not a league match and it's a 180-minute tie, will things be a little different? Or are you going to treat it as if it were similar to a league match?
La duda que se nos plantea siempre que jugamos contra cualquier rival, el hecho de que
We have those kinds of doubts against any team that we play.
presionara que pudieran replegarse, pero
We have to decide whether we are going to,
claramente que
we have to see if they're going to create pressure, if they're going to stay back on defense. I don't think that they're going to change the way they defend. They're a very brave team,
pretende ahogarte lo más cercano
and
a la
they try
portería,
to essentially strangle you and not give you any space to breathe
esa presión dejando espacios,
with the
pero,
ball.
bueno, recuerdo en el
But
partido de Liga que estuvimos muy
I remember
bien,
in the league match against them this year, we played very well, but they still
generaron problemas.
forced us into many turnovers, and they created a lot of problems for us. But I expect
Grandes
a big
citas,
athletic club,
es una
especially considering it's the Copa del Rey, which is one of the competitions where they've played best over the years. And for sure, it will be complicated for
con
us.
otro tipo de situación defensiva, nosotros estamos acostumbrados.
We're
de
accustomed
hecho, estamos
to
acostumbrados a que los equipos se
playing
cierren
against
y se replieguen,
teams
que
that
presionen.
give
Pero,
different looks
bueno,
defensively at
siempre
us.
tiene eso de apasionante saber lo que va a ocurrir
But
antes del
that's
partido, intentar
what's great about football, and we're not going to know that until the game kicks off.
Enrique, Jordi Martí de Radio Barcelona de la SER. Normalmente el portero que juega la Liga no juega la Copa. Esto sí.
Normally, your league goalkeeper doesn't play the Copa del Rey
Cambia las cosas en este
matches,
sentido.
but since Silesen is injured,
Del partido, la exigencia
does
del
that
partido,
change
defensivo no tenga tanto ritmo,
your
tiene
approach
más números de
with
jugadores
Masip
en este partido.
there as the second goalkeeper now? Will Ter Stegen play or not? We'll see. You'll see tomorrow. We have to look. There are different options that I have, and I could choose either one of them. It's not about playing one goalkeeper in one competition or the other. It's about what's best for my team.
Hola Luis, feliz año, Germán García, Radio Nacional.
Igualmente.
Me gustaría saber cómo han llegado, sobre todo los que han tenido el viaje más largo, los 4 sudamericanos, si están en disposición ya de jugar.
Are the South American players that just came back from vacation, are they ready to go for tomorrow? Yes, well, we all had plenty of days of vacation, and we're all thankful for that over these dates during the holidays. And the fact that they were on vacation doesn't mean that they didn't come to the Ciutat Esportiva, because everybody had a plan, a physical preparedness plan for vacation. And I think that everybody's back and ready to go, and they're in better shape than when they left, and happy that they were able to enjoy the last couple of weeks with their families. And we hope that they continue to train well and help us conquer the titles that we want.
¿Qué te parece Ernesto Valverde como entrenador y qué opinas que se haya
What do you think about Ernesto Valverde as a coach, and that the fact that he's been linked to Barça as your successor, given the uncertainty in your future? I think Ernesto Valverde is the player who I've faced most as a coach. With Celta Vigo, and now in San Mamés. I really like the way he coaches football, his ideas, his personality, and the way it transmits to his players his idea of play, his style of play. He's a very good coach. And what else?
¿Y qué opinas que en estos últimos días se haya vinculado su nombre?
And what do you think about the fact that they've linked him to FC Barcelona, given the uncertainty around your future? It's logical. It's a normal question. It's not because someone's getting fired, but these kinds of rumors about coaches is logical. Happy New Year, you too. I wanted to ask you specifically about Masip. Do you think that he's prepared after having minutes against Al Ahly, Jeddah, in Qatar? All of my players are prepared to compete, except the ones that are injured. And I understand that you're interested in knowing about that, but you also have to understand my perspective. You begin 2017 with all titles still on the table. What do you expect from this half of the season coming up? Well, I don't usually ask for a lot of things. I ask for health. That's what everybody wants. Not much else. The ones that win titles are the teams that deserve it. And this January is going to be a decisive month for us to continue aspiring for all the titles, especially in the Copa del Rey. We're just trying to become a better team and more competitive day after day. And we want to make our fans happy at the end of the season.
Marc Marvà, del programa de la porteria de BTV. Ens dius que no saps qui jugarà o la
You have told us you don't know who's going to play, but do you know who's going to play even though you can't tell us? Yes, I have it decided. I've decided that a few days ago. Yes, I know who's going to play.
Ya no buscando una confirmación de la titularidad o no de Alcácer, ¿crees que como pasó por ejemplo en 2009 con Bojan, con Guardiola, la Copa
in looking at
mañana titular es una buena competición para
Paco Alcácer and his playing time? Is he comparable to the situation with Bojan Kirkic years ago? I don't look at players getting into one competition or the other. We're a team. Everybody's a professional. We have to try and achieve our objectives and win titles. So it's about what I think about what's best for my team, whether it's based on how they're playing, their form, the minutes, how they're feeling. I have to decide where to put them, and in this case, whether or not to start them.
No lo baséis en esto porque en eso no vais a encontrar ninguna explicación.
I don't have any other kind of explanation with regard to that question.
Hola, Ramiro Aldunate de Marca. Se va a cumplir ahora esta semana un año del debut de Aleix y Arda con el
It's been a year since Aleix Vidal and Arda Turan first played for the team. Can you talk about what they've done in the last year?
Positivo.
Well, for me, what they've done is positive.
Importantes para el equipo.
They're important players for the team. They arrived here in a difficult situation. For them, they had to wait a few months to compete, which is not does not normally happen. I think they adapted quickly, both players. Arda had more minutes, Aleix not so many, not as much, but I think both of the players look good, just like the rest of their teammates. Happy New Year. Having played so many games in the last few years, does it make this game more difficult to prepare than others? No, I don't think it's easier or more difficult. Playing against Athletic presents a series of difficulties, not because it's the first game of 2017. It's not going to make any difference. It's going to be a difficult game. It's tough to play in San Mamés. The atmosphere there has very deep support for the home team and against whoever is visiting. But it's not better or worse. What I expect is for us to be playing at a good level based on the way we finished 2016. And I hope that we can get off to a good start here in 2017. Another Happy New Year.
Més utilitzats aquesta temporada a nivell global acumulen menys minuts que en les altres dues temporades. Creus que a partir d'ara les rotacions potser s'han acabat o seran menors?
In looking at the way the minutes have been distributed, and some of the players have played more minutes or less minutes this year and last, are you going to have more margin for in order to rotate players less? No, I think things have been, in my opinion, satisfactory, and we need more than 11 players to compete in all three of these competitions, and that's the path we're going to continue down for the rest of the season. Happy New Year. In the interview you gave to Barça TV in December, you left your renewal up in the air. It was something that you said. Can you talk about what you said in that interview? No, I think I explained everything in that interview. I talked about my profession, and if I have anything else to say with regard to that, I'll say it. But what I want to talk about right now is the next game in the Copa del Rey. Do you expect any transactions in the winter transfer market? This is a difficult transfer market. It always is, but we as a club always have to be open to the chance to reinforce our team or find some way to improve our team. I think every team from the very beginning of the season always has to think about ways to improve. And I think that that's always true.
Alex María Franquet para El Correo. Por la desgraciada experiencia que tiene el Barça con Tito y Vidal, ¿cómo puede afectar a un equipo lo que ha pasado con
With the difficult situation with Tito Vilanova and Eric Abidal that the club lived through,
de antecedentes en algún caso con muchas cosas a
and
lamentar.
now
Lo que deseamos todos es que Geray
in
se
the situation of Alvarez, what can you say about that? Well, we hope that he gets well as quickly as possible and returns to his job. And I think that it's good for the players to know that they have a teammate that's in a delicate situation, but
Luis Enrique, bon dia.
they're there to support him in his
Deixa'm
recovery.
que canvi una mica, et pregunti per la Lliga. L'entrevista que hem comentat de Barça
I want to ask you about La Liga.
la rapera. Et vull preguntar com se sent més còmode l'equip.
How do you
En les últimes jornades éreu els perseguits, havíeu de gestionar aquesta...
How do you feel? Last year at the end of the season, you were the front runners.
Sabeu que no podeu fallar.
Now
Què és més difícil mentalment?
that you are not, which situation is more difficult, being in first place or trying to catch the first place team? Both are difficult. We were worried about the team catching up from behind us last season, and right now it's also difficult, hoping that the team in front of us trips up and that we don't. We'll have to wait until the end of the season to see how things turn out, but our objective is clear. And through improving our results and our performance, we will get us as close as possible to our objective, which is first place. But both of them are complicated situations.
Los meses de enero y febrero son los más complicados.
January and February are the most difficult months. You have 19 games in 60 days. How are you going to manage the team through this tough stretch? Well, in going back to one of the questions about rotations and whether we're only going to need 11 players, if we did, it would be, well, I hope we play that many games because it would mean that we stay alive in all the competitions. But there are always chances for players to get injured. And we need to rotate in order to keep the team healthy. We have a lot of resources. We have a deep bench, and we just want to make sure that we use that depth well.
Hola Luis, buenos días. David Ibáñez de Mediaset Sport, feliz año. Son muchas veces las que oímos en el Camp Nou aficionados coreando tu nombre, apoyo constante.
We hear the fans a lot chanting your name in Camp Nou and supporting you. Do you think that relaxes you? Does it make it any more likely for you to renew? I love the cheering section and the atmosphere at Camp Nou. And I hope that we can continue getting that support to make our team stronger. Because I think that that's what every Barça supporter wants. Pep Guardiola recently said that he's getting close to retirement and that Manchester City might be one of the last teams he coaches. Is this the same situation for you? I saw this one coming. Is this a similar situation for you? Are you thinking about retirement? Will Barça be one of the last teams you coach? You know, one thing I've learned in football is that the future doesn't really exist. When I plan more for the future, things don't work out as well. I prefer to focus on the present, enjoy each day. You don't know what's going to happen down the road. And that's what I have to say about that. Thank you very much. The team heads to the stadium, to the Ciutat Esportiva.